What if Yuji is Sukuna's descendant? One of the most intriguing Jujutsu Kaisen theories revolves around Yuji's inexplainable strength and potential. Despite his relatively short exposure to the Jujutsu world, Yuji has come leaps and bounds in power, and is now somehow near Sukuna's level? Even before consuming Sukuna's finger and learning how to control his cursed energy, he possessed a superhuman power. This is evident by the fact that he could easily break world records despite only being an ordinary high schooler. Megami was sure that Yuji would have died if he ate Sukuna's finger, but somehow he survived. What sets Yuji apart is his ability to not only restrain but control Sukuna to a degree, so what's up with that? This isn't just a coincidence, as you guys know already. It's linked to Yuji's mysterious birth. In 2003, Yuji was born to Jin and Kaori Itadori, but the weird thing is Kaori was supposed to be dead. She's shown with stitches on her forehead, proving that her body was hijacked by Kenjaku. We know for sure that Kenjaku transplanted his own brain into Kaori before or after Yuji's birth, which is definitely suspicious. 150 years earlier, Kenjaku hijacked the body of a sorcerer called Notoshi Kamo and created the Cursed Womb death paintings. This was done by imprisoning and forcing a woman to have multiple pregnancies and abortions to create a human cursed spirit hybrid like Choso. It's also possible that Yuji is a similar experiment, hence Choso refers to him as his brother. Yuji being something similar to a Cursed Womb death painting isn't that far-fetched at all, as it would explain why he has his naturally high amount of cursed energy at the beginning of the series. But why would Kenjaku even do this? Now this is where we get to the juicy part of the theory. What if Kenjaku used one of Sukuna's fingers to augment Yuji? The last finger is currently missing. Sukuna believes that Gojo had it, but it's unlikely since he's dead now. The finger is not lost somewhere. I think Kenjaku with his high IQ is the one who hid the fingers in the first place and orchestrated the events of Yuji eating them. You might be wondering, what are the chances of that? I'm sure they're quite high considering that Kenjaku is based off Aizen from Bleach, who is also capable of creating advanced plans. Remember, a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen is inspired by Bleach, so you might see some commonalities. Consider the fact that Kenjaku has some of Sukuna's fingers, possibly all 20 of them at one point. Think about it, the fingers were found in places a teenager like Yuji would hang around, like a juvenile detention center, a school, etc. It would explain why most of the fingers are either in the possession of Jujutsu High, or the Ume, or Jogo. It's almost like they were placed deliberately by a mastermind like Kenjaku. So if Kenjaku kept one finger for himself and used it to augment Yuji, it would explain why he looks like Sukuna too. This is not that crazy considering that Sukuna notices that Kenjaku has done something to Yuji, something gross. I think it's definitely possible Sukuna's last finger was involved in the process of creating Yuji. Kenjaku probably kept Sukuna in the dark about his last finger, as Sukuna wouldn't really be happy about it. Additionally, we know that Sukuna's fingers are indestructible and might explain Yuji's plot armor. But why did Kenjaku specifically need to create Yuji using Sukuna's DNA? During Kenjaku's fight with Choso, he elaborates that Yuji's role is to be Sukuna's vessel. He's a fire starting the signal, later saying that Yuji is the eye of the storm. As long as he continues to host him, the cycle of curses will never end. Using Yuji to revive Sukuna is important in executing Kenjaku's plan to bring about the Age of Curses and to create a monstrous curse by harvesting all of the negative emotions in Tokyo. Before Sukuna faced Gojo using Megami's body, Kenjaku reminded him that they have a promise between them that he needs to fulfill, proving that there is some sort of allegiance between the two of them. To me, it sounds like they have this bounding vow between each other. A binding vow is a pact made with Jujutsu that creates conditions for a deal, and if breached will have dire consequences. It's possible that Yuji becoming Sukuna's vessel to revive him was a part of Kenjaku's plan to ensure that the Age of Curses will indefinitely come, as I said earlier. Mahito even theorized that Sukuna would bring about the Age of Curses, so it all kind of makes sense. This leads me to believe that Yuji was created to contain Sukuna's power as his vessel, but Kenjaku wanted to make sure that he could also keep Sukuna in check too, explaining why he can specifically somewhat resist Sukuna's imposed will over him and Megami can't. But the question arises, if Kenjaku birthed Yuji to be Sukuna's vessel and revive him, why specifically pick Yuji's mother Kaori Itadori to birth this child? It could simply just be a coincidence, or it could be because he wanted Kaori's body to steal an anti-gravity curse technique, and while he was at it, he was like, I might as well use the body to create Yuji as well, because it's convenient. But I think Kenjaku's thought process may have been, okay, I'm gonna pick Kaori because she's married to Jin Itadori. I say this because Jin is a tall man with short light coloured hair and light eyes. I can only assume that his hair colour is pink like his son's, but we'll have to wait for the anime to confirm this. Take Yuji's grandfather, Wasuke Itadori. Even though his hair colour is white due to old age, I think it might have also been pink. More interestingly, his eyes are green and shaped in a very specific way, including his eyebrows. You know who else has pink hair, eyebrows and green eyes shaped like that? Sukuna. So I don't think this is a coincidence. In fact, it leads me to believe that Kenjaku had a child with Jin because he's a descendant of Sukuna. Even his family name Itadori means Japanese knotweed, an invasive species associated with resilience, strength, and difficulty to eradicate because it grows in harsh conditions, which to me sounds like both Yuji or Sukuna depending on how you interpret the meaning of Itadori. Originally, I thought it was kind of weird that the inner representation of Sukuna's soul looked exactly like Yuji, Like, why not just show yourself? Why does your soul look like somebody else? But that's when it all clicked. What if that is Sukuna? Just like Tengen 1000 years ago, Sukuna sacrificed his body for immortality. So before Sukuna became immortal, he most likely looked like Yuji. I believe this is another Bleach reference, especially Zangetsu, who's Ichigo's inner spirit that represents his sword. But it turned out he was just a younger version of a main villain, Yuha. Another good piece of evidence that Sukuna really did look like Yuji before mutating is in chapter 114. Sukuna with Megami's body was shocked by Yuji's raw power and realized that he's from that era. Now what does this mean exactly? So why is he referring to himself in third person? What if he's not talking about himself? What if he's telling Yuji that he looks like somebody he knew a long time ago? What if he's telling Yuji that he looked like his twin brother? Now for a history lesson, apparently Ryomen Sukuna was a real person, at least according to the classical Japanese book Nihon Shoki, which translates to the Chronicles of Japan. It said that Roman Sukuna had 2 faces, 2 arms and carried a bow. The name Roman Sukuna directly translates to two-faced demon. The name is also widely thought to be a symbol of twins and brothers, therefore could refer to the Japanese folk story Osuko no Mikoto, a story about Prince Ozu and his twin brother Prince Takeru. After the older brother Ozu began acting out, the younger twin Takeru was tasked and ordered by his father to teach Osu some manners. Instead of just teaching him a lesson, the guy killed his brother in anger. So it seems Takeru had anger issues, a little bit like somebody else we know. In the same way, it's predicted that Sukuna killed his twin brother, and maybe that's why he's dubbed the Disgraced One. But there's more. Twins in the Jujutsu world are considered a bad luck omen. Because they're one being, the cursed energy and potential is split between them. For this reason, twins usually hate each other and view each other as holding each other back quite literally. The twins Maki and Mai both suffered from his curse, combined with the curse of heavenly restriction to make it even worse. While Maki was born with a low amount of cursed energy, she was decently strong, but even then this was only half her physical potential. Later in the story, Mai died to free Maki of a curse of twins, which most likely doubled Maki's physical power. This is probably why Sukuna wanted to kill his brother, so he could break free and double his own power. It's kind of similar to Madara taking his brother's eyes to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in the name of love. Sukuna said that the helpless have no choice but to swallow the suffering life gives them. What if Sukuna is the helpless and the suffering is his brother? I think this implies that Sukuna went even further and ate his older brother to force his evolution, explaining why Sukuna looks so hideous, having 2 extra arms, mouths and arms, as if he's physically fused with his brother like conjoined twins, implying that he believed that his brother was the cause of his suffering. Ultimately, Sukuna killing his brother solidifies his belief in individualism. I think somewhere deep down he loves his brother and wants to be proven wrong. That's why he's trying to find somebody who can teach him about love. Gojo and Kashimo could somewhat understand him because they were so powerful, but at the same time they are too weak in the end. When I say that they're too weak, I don't mean physically. I'm talking about the fact that they're arrogant and only believe in themselves. That's why when Gojo died, his best friend Geto in the afterlife told him that he never really cared about protecting people and was only in it for himself, only in it for the thrill of battle. Sukuna can't find his equal due to him being lonely at the top just like Aizen from Bleach. So who will teach Sukuna love? Sukuna's overarching narrative revolves around him killing others, being selfish and wanting immortality. Whereas Yuji's narrative revolves around him fulfilling his grandfather's aspirations of loving others and accepting death. So in the end, Yuji will live and Sukuna will die, accepting love and death. As I was implying before, I think that Yuji could be a direct descendant of Sukuna's twin, that's why he looks exactly like him. So metaphorically, Sukuna's own twin will teach him about love, and Sukuna dying might even increase Yuji's strength, doubling it. If you enjoyed his theory and would like to see more engaging content like this, please remember to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel, it'd really help out. Also don't forget to also explore my other videos on the channel, ranging from discussions about how strong Sukuna and Yuji are, to Itachi vs Gojo. Anyway, thank you for watching and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Until then, take care and peace out.